Hello, doctoral committee and co-investigators. Welcome to a brief update on some additional functionality in the Scholasity web application. I just want to quickly run through all of the functionality and point out what is new. First, when someone attempts to log in with something other than one of the accounts that are owned by me, the user will be instructed to log in with their participant account. To demonstrate, I will attempt to log in with my personal Gmail account, and as you can see, the dialog instructs me to log in with my participant account. Each participant using the application during the experimental phase will be assigned a participant account such as participant 001 at scholasity.org, or in this case participant 031 we're going to use at scholasity.org, and must use only their assigned account to log into the web application so that there is nothing recorded in the system that reveals the identity of the participant. As I said, all of these accounts that are going to be assigned to the participants are owned by me, so there's nothing tying any activity in the system to any individual other than myself. Now when I log in with a participant account from scholasity.org, you see the same basic functionality that I demoed previously, but with a few significant improvements. The participant can still select from learning outcomes extracted from the course descriptions in the course catalog, and then find recommendations based on those selections. Now, note that I've added some additional information to the course, specifically the instructor name, the fee, and the session dates and times and days of week. And these are all pulled from the course catalog, just as were the stated learning outcomes, course names, course descriptions. Note that I've replaced the old Save to Portfolio checkbox with the capability for the participant to go ahead and submit a request to register for the course. In a few moments we'll log in with the new administrator account, which only Ms. Robinson will be able to use during this experimental phase. And I will demonstrate how the director can process those registration requests and set them to approved. Once that process has been accomplished by the admin account, we will move, the recommendation will move into the My Courses area. Now I've expanded the ratings. The rating of the recommendation is the same as before, but once it moves into My Courses, the rating question will be a little bit different. It'll be about course satisfaction after having taken the course, and that'll be an additional metric for comparison with the course satisfaction survey that we have in place in Qualtrics. You may notice also I've changed the iconography. We now have this shopping cart it matches, for example, the shopping cart on the menu option that we selected to get to where the course recommendation is now. So this iconography is intended to show where the recommendation is in the course selection and registration process. So let's go ahead and rate this one, and instead of just saving the rating only, we will register. And of course registering is also going to save the rating. If you wanted to just get out of here without saving anything, you would just click this X, and this will be true on any modal in the system. So this icon now indicates that it's not simply in our basket, which in the case of the experimental participants, the basket is the recommendations. It's not simply in the basket, it has moved into a status of a registration request. But since it has not been approved yet, and we'll see how to do that in a moment, it is not going to show up in my courses even though you chose to register. The administrator account has to go in and approve it, then it will move from recommendations to courses. We will log back in as this participant after having approved the registrations, then navigate to my courses. But first, let's take a look at some other work that I did. Now, this was done in an effort to satisfy a recommendation by Dr. Gutmann that we have some way of accomplishing some differential usability testing, and that recommendation sent me back into the literature on usability testing. And what I discovered is that the general use case for differential usability testing is when one is planning to introduce something new. So the new functionality is tested on a sample of the user community. Now, this web app, as originally designed, consisted only of something new. The capability for the student to select a course by first selecting one or more stated learning outcomes and then being presented with recommended courses. I've now added functionality to represent something that is not new, simply using the application to directly select a course, simply using it as an electronic course catalog. To demonstrate, let me log in with an account from my other domain, scholarsanonymous.org, participant 061 at scholarsanonymous.org. Now first, let me be clear, I added this functionality for two purposes. First, if and only if we have a sufficient number of participants to have two experimental groups, we can assign to one experimental group the participant accounts from the scholarsanonymous.org domain, and when someone logs in from that domain, they get this different menu that allows them to directly select courses. If and when the Leisure Learning Center desires to actually use this web application and make it available to their members, we will be able to offer alternative ways to select courses, either by first getting recommendations based on selected learning outcomes or simply by directly browsing and selecting courses. So let's have a look. Notice we have courses by domain, courses by day, my selections, my courses. So courses by domain. This, these are the same domains we had, allowing people coming in from scholasticity.org domain to select learning outcomes. Here, you simply can browse the courses within each of these domains, and you can save it to your cart or go ahead and register. So let's save one to the cart. Notice the icon changes to the shopping cart, and this one, let's go ahead and register. Notice the icon changes to a state indicating that it's in a state of registration request. Now let's go to my selections, and this is what we selected. We put this in the cart. We went ahead and registered for these. Now there's Nothing in my courses yet because none of this has been approved. Now let's take a look at something else. Now additionally I've see it's courses by day. So what I've done is I've used the session information, which is something new in our database, and it's allowed me to set up a way for the participants to browse courses by day of the week of the offering. This was in response to something that Ms. Robinson said to me during our initial meeting about how some of the members of the community use the course catalog because they have outstanding or standing commitments on certain days of the week, and so there are only certain days of the week that they will be able to take a course, and so they look for example, everything that's offered on Wednesday. So let's look, for example, at Wednesday. Now these are all the courses that have at least one session on Wednesday. And it looks, here's one, for example, that meets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But if it touches Wednesday at all, it's going to be browsable under Wednesday. And then, of course, we're showing all of the session dates and times and days of week. So that's additional information that the user will have. Okay, it meets on Wednesday, but it also meets other days, so maybe I can't take that one. But look at this. This one meets on several Wednesdays. So let's take that one. And let's see, let's save it to the cart. Icon changes. Let's go look at our cart. And here it is. So now we've got one for which we've registered and a couple in the cart. So let's go ahead and let's rate this. Now this rating is a little bit different than the one you saw for the experimental group from Scholasticity.org, because that question had to do with the learning outcomes from which they had selected and which resulted in the course recommendation. We don't have that here, so what we're asking here is how well this course satisfies my expectations for this semester's offerings. In other words, how happy are you with this course based on the type of course you were expecting to find in the catalog for this semester? That could be useful information. So let's rate it, and we can save rating only, or we can go right ahead and register. And again, any of these buttons will always save the rating, but so if you wanted to get out without doing anything like that, just click the X. But let's go ahead and register. So now we have a couple of registrations. Again, nothing yet in my courses. So this is a good time to go in as the admin account. LL admin. Now the only administrative function available in this application right now is approving registration requests. Administration, so when you go to the administration menu selection, there's no sub-menu at this point because that's the only thing we can do. So here they are. Now if you've got the empty hand, that means it's a request. Now notice it says who requested it. So this is participant 031 at scholasticity.org. So once, as I understand it, currently the director gets either email or a phone call from a prospective student typically, and then we'll go ahead and register the person for a course. So whatever process that involves now, you would still have to do that, but then once this gives the participant, the student, a way to quickly get that information to you, and then it gives you a way to quickly get the information back to them by clicking approve. And notice the icon changes. It's got the check mark in the hand. At this point, when the next time participant 031 at scholasticity.org logs in with that account, he or she would find that requested recommendation now in their My Courses basket because it's been approved. So let's go ahead, in fact, and go back in as participant 31. Go to My Courses, and here it is. It's been approved, and it's in the My Courses section. And the icon changes to a briefcase indicating you're ready to go to work. Now, once you've taken the course, and this will be the same question whether you registered for a course based on a recommendation, or whether you registered for a course based on having browsed the courses and selected them directly. Once you've taken the course, you would be able to apply this rating. This course satisfied my expectations and learning goals. Okay. Now let's go back in as the administrator, and we will approve the other two. Now these other two are for participant 061 at Scholars Anonymous. Let's go ahead and register that person, approve their registrations. Go back in as participant 61 at Scholars Anonymous. Go to My Courses, and here they are. Now let's go ahead and give these a rating. Now I want to give these a little lower rating. Not that I'm picking on these courses, but I just want to demonstrate that some information that that is now available to the admin account, to the director, about these ratings. And I want them to all have different types of ratings so that you can see that we don't want to go in and you see something that where all three icons are the same, and you'd suspect that it wasn't working. But it is, because I've tested it thoroughly. So we're back in as the admin account. Now let's go to the About page, and here you see it says, of course, the only admin activity currently available is course approval of course registrations. More to come. Now it says here that the program director or system administrator may also review and test the functionality available to the users. I'm going to provide a test account as opposed to a participant account from each of those two domains, scholasticity.org and scholarsanonymous.org, and so that the director would be able to go in and make selections, get recommendations, register, make sure the approval process works and all that. It's just a courtesy. Now, notice, and I need to make this font considerably bigger. Average user rating of stated learning outcomes, average user rating of offerings expectations, and average user rating of course satisfaction. So across all users, each of these three rating buckets gets averaged, and you would see the face icon corresponding to that average rating. So on average, in our demo user wasn't happy on average with the courses once they had taken the courses. Again, I did that just to demonstrate that if you give it low ratings, these are all three working differently. These are not all coming from the same bucket. So hopefully that'll be useful information. Well, that really wraps it up. That's what we have. And I'm going to wrap it up because it is storming outside. So thank you, and I hope to talk to all of you soon.